So now we want to give you one example. This example is used in three ways. So first, we want to solve the Lagrangian dual program, okay? And the second, we want to show you that our proposition 3 and the proposition 4 are indeed true in this particular example, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at this. The example is something we mentioned. So we are maximizing x1 plus x2 subject to one useful constraint which gives you a circle, and another always non-binding constraint which is x2 should be less than or equal to 6. So previously we have shown that optimal solution 2, 2, z star 4. Lagrange relaxation gives us what? Our Lagrangian is f plus lambda slake plus lambda slake. Okay, so this is something we mentioned. Once we have the Lagrangian, we may choose x to optimize it, and that gives us ZL of lambda. We try to find the best lambda to give us W star. So that's the whole thing we want to go through in this particular example. Okay, so we want to see whether ZL is indeed convex and whether W star is indeed Z star, because this is indeed a convex program, right? So W star should really be Z star. Okay, so let's try to solve the Lagrange dual program. Well, first, what do? We are going to take a look at the gradient of your Lagrangian. So this can be done, and this is sufficient because this particular gradient is clearly jointly concave for x1 and x2. You may want to prove it by yourself, gradient Hessian, whatever, but it is true. So the first order condition says that given any lambda 1 and lambda 2, we may express the optimal solution of x1 and x2 in this particular format. Analytically, that can be done, first order condition. And then we may plug in x1 and x2 into the Lagrangian. Once we do that and do some replacement arithmetics, we're going to get this one, okay? This is a function of lambda only. This is indeed the result of optimizing the Lagrangian. This is exactly ZL of lambda, all right? This weird nonlinear program as a function of lambda 1 and lambda 2 is indeed our ZL of lambda. This is something that we want to minimize in this particular case. We want to look for lambda 1, lambda 2 non-negative to minimize ZL of lambda. So this is our Lagrange dual program. So in this case, what we want to do is that we want to solve this nonlinear program. So this is another constrained nonlinear program, okay? But luckily, we know how to analytically solve it. How to do that? Well, let's take a look at this particular function. This ZL of lambda as a function of lambda is convex over this feasible region. Why is that? Well, here first let's ignore 0 for x1 because lambda 1 because lambda 1 cannot be 0. And then if you do gradient and the Hessian, you may get your Hessian something like this. And then you may take a look at the first element or the whole matrix and try to take a look at the determinants. So through the direct calculations, we may see that indeed this function is convex. So I don't want to do the arithmetics here one step by one step, but you may want to verify it by yourself. Okay, so proposition 3 is indeed true for this example. Your ZL of lambda is indeed convex. Of course, this is not a proof, but this at least gives you one confirmation, one verification in this particular example, okay? Even though this function looks weird somehow, you have this division, you have this ratio, but still it is a convex function of lambda. And now let's try to solve this problem by applying the KKT condition. Just to remind you again, in practice, if you really want to solve this problem, you may want to apply some algorithms that we have not told you in this course. But here, we just want to give you some more ideas about the KKT condition. So let's try one more example. Here, one thing we may see is that lambda 1 must be positive because it cannot be 0, right? So in that case, we know this particular lambda 1 can never be binding. So lambda 1 cannot be 0. So let's ignore this function. Let's ignore this constraint directly. So in that case, you have only one constraint remains. The only thing that you don't know is whether lambda 2 would be 0 or positive. So let's associate mu as a Lagrange multiplier for the non-negativity constraint for lambda 2. In this case, you consider this one as another new primal problem. Then you would get your Lagrangian as you make this to the objective function by adding the term minus mu lambda 2 here. Here, I need to help you take a look at this sign of mu, okay? Here, we are doing minimization. So if we want to reward feasibility, then when lambda 2 is positive, we should make the objective value smaller. That's why if you put a negative term here, to make it smaller, your mu should be non-negative. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Once you have your Lagrangian, now you may take a look at your KKT condition. You of course need your lambda 2 to be non-negative. You also need this guy to give you the first order condition, and this one, mu multiply lambda 2 should be 0 because that's the required complementary slackness conditions. Okay, so this is differentiate the Lagrangian with respect to lambda 1. This is do the differentiation with respect to lambda 2. And then the last one, complementary slackness. So again, your mu may have two possibilities. First, your mu may be positive. If that's the case, your lambda 2 would be 0. Doing some arithmetics, you're going to get the two first order conditions. They together will tell you that your lambda 1 should be 1 over 4. And then you plug in this, plug in that, you're going to get your mu to be 4, which is feasible. Okay, so you get one candidate solution. Or you may try to say that your mu is 0. If that's the case, then immediately according to the first order condition, you get an equality between lambda 1 and lambda 2 that must be held. And then plugging this to another first order condition, it requires you to have your lambda 1 squared to be negative, which is impossible. So that means case 1 gives you a feasible solution. Case 2 gives you no solution. The only KKT point you found in this particular derivation is that your lambda 1 should be 1 over 4, your lambda 2 should be 0. This is optimal for your Lagrangian dual. So we have solved your Lagrangian dual program. Plugging this into your ZL of lambda gives you W star is 4, which is exactly Z star. So proposition 4, your strong duality indeed holds, at least for this example. Again, this is far from a proof, but this again helps us to use this example to show you this can be true in this particular example.